And after you leave a like, remember to smash the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to my channel as yet. And remember to hit the notification bell so every time I post a video, you can know right away. Subscribe, 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 subscribe.
What's up, my YouTube friends, viewer subscribers, everybody? Welcome back to another banger motivational video. And the topic for today is the reasons why people compare themselves to you. I already did a video a while back saying stop comparing yourself to others. I already explained that. So now it's time to flip it. So the reason why a lot of people compare themselves to you, it is as simple as possible. If you ever wonder why everywhere you go, every environment you're in, like anytime you're around other people, they're always comparing themselves to you. The main reason is it's because you're better than they are. Or I shouldn't say and you have something that they wish they had. This is why people compare themselves to you. It is as simple as using gadgets. You can use anything. What do people compare themselves to what? You know what I mean? Or what do they compare, whatever they have, they compare it to something else that's exactly similar to it, or what model. Example, a phone. If you have a, doesn't really matter what model phone you have, you won't compare it to a model that's like one step below the model that you have, if that makes sense. So if you have, say, iPhone 11 or Samsung 11, no one is going to compare that to Samsung 10, iPhone 10. No, you're not. You know why? You're going to compare it, the model you have, Samsung or whatever phone, let's say iPhone 11, sorry. You're going to compare that model to the latest model with features, uh, graphics, uh, like the software, like everything about the new one, you're gonna compare it to on the one that you already have. It's the same thing with people. People only compare themselves with things that they know full well is better than they are. Nobody's gonna get up and compare themselves to something that's less than them. Nobody. No one in this world is doing that. For example, if you're a person that's, say, you got a regular job, you will not compare yourself to people that's don't have no regular job, people that are homeless. You won't compare yourself to that. You're going to compare yourself to those who are, say, working similar as you or one step above you, or a business. That's how it is. So if you ever wonder why people always compare themselves to you, that's where that come from. So stop being irritated and stop getting frustrated and wonder why it's always you. You have something within you that they wish they had, and that's one thing. What's it called? That's one thing I wish a lot of people would come to understand is sometimes people can see your potential way before you can see your own potential. And if you don't spend time getting to know your abilities and know your capabilities, like you won't know what you can do, but others can see it within you. This is why people will say try their very best to keep you down with them, because they don't want you to find out just how powerful you really are. Bro, these people exist. And this is why people compare themselves to you, because they know. You ever wonder why people that have way more money than you, they have way more achievements than you, they have, say, they have a lot of stuff over you. And then you're just a beginner figuring out life and figuring out what's going on in the world and figuring out what you want to do. But the moment you decide that this is the path that you want to walk, you got people with way more comparing themselves to you. You ever wonder why? You never once sat down and consider why people that have way more than you are comparing themselves to you? Never? Bro, this is because like your achievements, like achievements matters, but comparing like the value you have, like the value you have doesn't determine your achievements. Like you can be a high value person, but that doesn't mean you say having big achievements like everybody else. Having high values, high standards, that comes from your character, not your lifestyle. A lot of people always get this concept mixed up. This is why people with more than you compare themselves to you that are just starting, because they can see the potential that you have. And sometimes you have the unique ability in order to be better than they are. Because if you're an older person, say you're like, say, in your 30s, and then you see somebody that's like 20, that's like 10-year gap. And then you're 30, and then you're gonna look at somebody that's like 20, and then you're gonna see that this person is, say, buying a car, investing some money. You're gonna look back to yourself when you're at 20. That's why people compare themselves to you when you had nothing, because they're looking at how you are, and they're looking at your age, and they're looking at what you're doing. So with that being said, is you got to remember, people look back at themselves when they were your age to see what were they doing when they were your age. So they may say to themselves, okay, I'm 30 now, and now I figure out what it is that I want to do with my life, and I figure out that whatever life I want to live and how I want to live at 30. And then if you got somebody at 20, remember this is a 10-year gap. So if you got somebody at 20 already figuring this out and making moves in order to have a foundation for themselves, this is why somebody that's 30 will compare themselves to somebody at 20. Because you know why? They're not comparing the age difference. They're comparing what they were doing at that age. Sometimes when people compare themselves to you, they don't compare themselves saying, oh, I'm older than you and I'm smarter than you. No. Comparison comes from the age that they were and what they were doing when they were your age. This is why people that are older than you compare themselves to you and you're younger than them. Because that's what they're thinking about. So if you didn't know then, this is where it comes from. So you got to remember, I always tell everybody, people timing is different, and people figuring out stuff is like, everyone is different in their own different way. Everything about a person is completely different. But if a person compare themselves to you, this is why. They're not going to sit down and look within themselves and say, okay, I'm 50, I have achieved my dreams and I'm where I want to be, and now I'm comfortable. But why is a 30-year-old aggravating them? That is why, because they have reached where they want to be at 50. And then you are at 30. And then you already living the same type of life that they're living at 50. You got to remember, that's like 20 years. So a person that's 50 will look back to themselves at 30, and they will think to themselves, okay, when I was 30, I was broke. I didn't know what was going on. And this person is 30 and they already living the same type of life as me. You know why? This is because, people figure out what they want to do earlier than others. It depends on your environment, how you were brought up, the responsibility you have, and all the different type of stuff. But that's why people compare themselves to you. So if you didn't know then, you know now. People compare themselves to things that are better than them. And then when they look back, they will see that where you are at your age and where they are when they were your age, this is why they may be envious as you. And this is why sometimes when you want to achieve stuff, sometimes people that know more and they have the knowledge to tell you, these people will try to misguide you, because they will tell themselves, when I was your age, I had no money. Now you're this age and you getting some money. So what they will try to do is trying to misguide you in order for you not to be better than they are at the age that they are now. Understand? So a person that's like 50, if they were talking to a person that's like 30 that already achieved their dreams, they can no longer destroy them. But if they were supposed to talk to them at 25 before they were at the stage that they are when they're 30, then sometimes, that's the world we live in. We live in a world where people know the knowledge to help you, and they won't tell you because they don't want you to be better than they don't want you to be better than them. And that's the world where we live in, where everybody wants you to do your very best, but nobody wants you to be better than they are. Nobody. And that's the reason why people compare themselves. Like, people compare themselves to you in different ways. Like, say you're in school and you're in your favorite subject. Like, you always have a couple kids that love the subject as much as you, and that's why they compare themselves to you in the subject, because you're in school, so obviously you guys are amongst the same age. So they will say, okay, we're the same age, let's see who's smarter. Same thing with track and field, sports. They will say, use track and field for an example. They'll say, okay, we're both in the 9th grade and we're both on the track and field team. We're both running for the school. So let's race to see who's faster. That's people comparing themselves to you. That's life, and that's just how it is. But in a world where people, when people constantly compare themselves to you, that's when you need to really look within yourself and try to find out why. Because when I was younger, I'm not boosting my ego. This is reality. When I was younger, like I always said, I started working when I was 16, when I graduated, and start getting some money and blah 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 blah. And then you have people that are way older than you. They will be envious of you, and then they will compare themselves to you. Why? That's a question I asked myself like over 11 years ago. I'm like I never said it out loud, but I will like sit down and think about it. I'll be like, so I'm 16 or 17, and this person is like, say, in their late 20s, 30s. Why do people compare themselves to things that are less than them? Not knowing the age may be less than them, but the gift that you walk with, your spirit, your aura, shines brighter when they were your age. So this is why people are envious of you when you had nothing. Because now I'm 20. Now I'm in my late 20s, and like when I was 16, I used to work with older people, like 24, 27, like those type of age. So now that I'm the age that they were when I was 16, now I come to understand why. Because I'm way ahead of how they were when they were my age. I'm not boosting my ego. Like I said, this is just the reality. Because when I was 16, I didn't expect I'll be in Canada by 21. I'm starting my YouTube career by, say, what was I, 23, 24? I did not expect it. You know what I mean? But like I said, sometimes people see the potential that you have and the capabilities you have, and they may not know what area you may pick, but what they try to do, they try to keep you down so you don't end up being better than them. Because like people are like, what's it called? Intimidated by things they can't control. People hate what they can't control. So this is why whenever you're trying to pick pick a career and you want to do something with yourself, this is why people will say to you, oh, don't waste your time doing this. Come work here and stay here and don't do nothing with your life. So just work with us, because I've been working from I was 16 like you. I know I'm almost 60, and I worked my whole life to just working for somebody else, and then you're coming and saying to me at 21 that you want to create some generational wealth for yourself and you want to be self-employed. Why do you think you can be self-employed? And a person that's like 60 will look all the way back till when they were your age and see what they were doing. This is why you gotta remember, bro, people, like, they can see your light. And when I say light, I mean your aura, your spirit, your energy. They, like, people know these things, but they will not say it. They will not say it. And I'm a very genuine guy, because whenever I see, like, I give credit when it's due. So if I see somebody performing very well, I tell, like, sometimes it doesn't hurt to tell a person, good job, or you're that doesn't hurt. But you got people that they admire the hell out of you, and they will never say it. They will never even say good morning. They will never say good night, how are you? They won't even talk to you, but you will see them at the sideline like this, watching your every move and every step. They do not want to engage you because they are comparing themselves to you. Because guess what? Even people that are, and yeah, I just remember something. Even people when they're younger, they will say, oh, what were you doing when you were my age? What were you doing at this age? You know what I mean? So people that are younger, they will look up to older people because they want to tell themselves, okay, when I'm this age, I want to be where you are today. But like I always say, everyone's timing is different. So I may be 27 and you may be 17. That's 10 years. So if you're going to look at me and say, oh, I want to be where Ty is by the time I'm 27, I can't guarantee that you might be where I'm at. You could probably be less, or you could probably be more, depending on the effort that you put into whatever area that you choose to be. So I think that's one thing, like, young people always compare themselves to older people. And older people, like, it's naturally for you to compare yourself to something that's older, something that's better. But for a person that has it all, to compare themselves to somebody that don't got nothing, you don't find that a bit curious? You don't find it a bit weird? I know some of you guys that's watching me, like, in a mature state of mind, you guys can understand exactly what I'm saying, especially if you're just trying to figure out what's going on, or even in high school, you got people older comparing themselves to you, and you never wonder why. You got a unique potential, my friend. You have a unique potential. and your capabilities may be high. You may not know what it is that you want to do with yourself, but trust me, by the time you figure it out and you start moving forward, you're going to understand exactly why when you had nothing, they were comparing themselves to you. And like I said, it's like a car model. Mercedes, BMW. If you have a like right now it's 2024. So if somebody buy a 2024 BMW, whatever model, and then the latest one 2025 come out by say the end of this year, then the one with the 2024 model, they're going to compare their model to the 2025. They're not going to compare the 2024 to the 2023. That would be ridiculous. So they will go there, they will look at it, look around, and they say, oh, mine is a 2024, mine have sunroof, this model don't have sunroof, mine have a different type of interior, this one don't have. This is why people compare themselves to things that are greater. And say a person have a 2024 model, the only way that person with that 2024 model will compare their model to a 2023 is unless the one that's 2023 has been modified. So if a person that have a 2023 model, if they say put stuff in, you know, they set it up how they want, they have new colors, you know, different seat. That's the only reason why a person with a higher model will compare it, because it's a little bit better than what they have. That's why. But that's why people compare themselves to you. That is why. If you didn't know then, you know now. So I wouldn't recommend you beat yourself up and you get frustrated and you're walking around, oh, why everybody always comparing themselves to me? Why always me? I wouldn't recommend you take that as a disadvantage, because if I was you, I would look at it in a positive way. Because if people have way more than you and they are already hating on you and you don't have nothing, just wait until you get some money. Then you will come to understand why. Because trust me, you got people looking all over the place. They're looking at everybody. And like I say, when you are at a certain age, older people look back. And I've seen myself doing that. I'm not speaking from like a blind spot. I'm literally speaking from my own reality. I would see a person that's like 16, 17, and just how they are. I would look back to myself and see just how I was when I was that age. I'm telling you, it's real. Older people may not say it to you, but they know. And this is why older people will have higher respect for younger people, because they can see that they're moving faster than how they were when they were at that age. You ever wonder why a person that's like, say, young, say, what's it called? 30s. You ever wonder why they have 50-year-old friends? That's because those 50-year-old friends, they admire that 30-year-old because they give them credit to say, oh, when I was your age, I wasn't doing half of what you were doing, but you are already doing more than me when I was your age. So this is why they respect them, because it comes with the mentality and the maturity of the person. This is why older, like, if you ever notice, if you work a regular job at a young age, you are like, depending on the level of maturity, like I said, you will be able to be, not say friends, but get along with older people there. You know what I mean? That's because of the respect that they have for you, because like I said, they look back at themselves to see when they were your age. That's where the comparison comes in. That's why they compare themselves. So if you ever wonder why, that is why. Because they can tell that you, when you are their age, you will be a lot greater than however they are at the same age. Because you gotta remember, like, everybody being the same age, we're at different spots. Like, everybody want to be wealthy, everybody want to have some money, nobody want to work for nobody else. You gotta remember, but what sets everybody apart is the knowledge that we all have. So I may be 27, and like I say, you may be 17 right now, and you may say, oh, when I'm 27, I want to have like whatever tie I have, or I want to be in the same area as him. No, if you push harder than me, then you're going to be greater than how I am at 27, because I started like, what's it called? I figure out how to make videos better. Like when I was young, like I've always been making videos, but I usually use music, so I had to remove all those. So if you can watch me and then you can say, oh, like I said, I started making my videos right by 24. So if you're 17 and you can hear me say this, then you can be way ahead of me by the time you're my age. Because you gotta learn from others. You gotta learn from their mistakes. If you do the same thing as me, then you may be in the exact same position as me when you're my age. But if you can watch me and learn from me and say, okay, Ty figured out his YouTube career, or he decided to start his YouTube career when he was 24. So now I'm 17, I already know all these stuff. The earlier you start, the better it is for you and the faster you will arrive. I don't think a lot of people notice it, bro. That's like bars right there. But I don't think a lot of people notice this. The earlier you decide what you want in this world, the faster it is that you'll achieve whatever you want by the time you're 30. The faster it is. Bro, you got people, like I've seen people the same age as me, way less than me. No car, no job, maybe homeless, moving around, doing nothing with themselves, don't know what's going on in the world, had no idea. And they're the same age as me. But guess what? I can't say, oh, I'm this age. Like I wasn't one to compare myself with others. Never. I never compare my views, my achievement. I wasn't that type of guy. And I'm still not that type of guy. Like the only person I compare myself to is myself. So comparing yourself to yourself, it gives you that motivational drive in order to keep moving forward because you're competing against yourself. So you can't say, okay, this person is at here, so I'm gonna grind to be at here. No, when you compare yourself to yourself, then eventually you'll be get to higher heights. Sorry, I think I said this when I say stop comparing yourself to others, because I made that video already. Stop comparing yourself to others, and I explain why you shouldn't compare yourself to others, because everybody is on a certain level, but this one is about people comparing themselves to you, and why do they do it? That's why, because you're better than they are. It doesn't really matter what age you are or what age are they at, because older people look back to when they were your age to see where they're at and what were they doing when they were your age. And that's where the comparison comes in. And this is why they hate you. This is why the enviousness and the jealousy comes in. So if you ever wonder why people are older than you, they're jealous of you, that's because when they were your age, they had no idea what was going on. And now you got up and you're like, okay, this is what I want to do, and this is what I'll push forward in doing. And they know. And those type of, like, jealousy will make people do crazy stuff, because jealousy will have a person try to misguide you. They will tell you different things. They may tell you you can't do it. They may tell you can't achieve nothing. They may tell you to come get a regular job the same as them and tie yourself down and have no dream and have no future the same as them. To keep you down with them. It's real. We live in a world where people will lie to you and smile and make it seem like they're being genuine, but in reality they're not. So you have to follow your spirit, because only you know what's best for you. So I hope this message was useful for some of you guys. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned. I will be back doing more stuff. You go enjoy the rest of your day. I'm out. And don't forget to follow me on social media. I post daily on them.